everyone, Sarah from Cherry on Top's design team with you today. I'm going to show you how to create some card fronts. I have some Post-it tape, some nice heavy cardstock, the heavier the better, an assortment of stencils. I have some Liquitex gel gloss. I have a Catalyst silicone tool, which we actually end up not using, and some reinkers from Catherine Polar. So if you have never been introduced to me before, my name is Sarah Scraps on the Cherry message boards and in social media lands. I'm going to be using these supplies to create some fun card backgrounds that you can use for all of your winter crafting projects. I'm going to start by adhering the paper to the back of the stencil. So a Vicky Bouton's foundation paper would be fabulous for this. You want something really good and heavy. I am taking a whole bunch of stencils from they're all from Cartabella or Echo Park, who have amazing stencils. You can find these in the shop. And I am just going to use the Post-it tape to tape these nice cardstock pieces to my stencils. Now let's get messy. Messy's the best part, right? You want to just grab a palette knife, anything you have in your scrapbooking or card making or mixed media stash. You're going to kind of grab 3 glops, 3 palette knife fulls, whatever you're using. You want 3 of them because we're going to use 3 different colors, and we're going to mix the ink from the reinkers with the gloss gel. So this gloss gel will come out looking kind of white and a little bit milky. It's going to dry completely clear. So we're going to add some of this super pigmented ink refills into this gloss gel, and then we're going to go ahead and mix them up. You only need 1 or possibly 2 dots of the reinker. You don't want a lot. You don't need a lot. And you saw how much gloss gel is in that bottle, so you can make lots and lots and lots of card fronts in all different colors. So you just want to take that palette knife, completely mix the gel with each of your reinkers. I used Juniper Mist, Daydream, and Hot Tub. This is Hot Tub. Again, you don't want to add too much ink because we don't want to add a lot of liquid to this gloss gel. We want it to work the way it's supposed to, so we don't want to add too much liquid. And because it's going to dry clear, it's going to dry much more vibrant than it does when you mix it up. And then you can just clean your palette knife off on your glass mat, wipe it off with a baby wipe between colors, and it will be fine. You can kind of get an idea here of how pigmented, how much pigment that little bit of ink has. You can see we have lots and lots and lots of color. Next, you want to go ahead and just smooth that gloss gel over your card base. You only need 1 color if that's what you want, but if you use 3 shades of 1 color, so if you use 3 blues, if you use 3 reds, if you use 3 greens, if you use 3 pinks in varying shades, you can really have fun mixing and matching and playing with these colors. Now, you saw that I only took 1 palette knife full of that gel, and that's going to give me enough to do all 3 of these card bases. You don't need a heavy hand, and you don't need a lot. Another thing you should know is that when you are stenciling, you're always going to have smudges. Stenciling is not an exact science. Most of the time, if you're very careful, you'll get lots of beautiful pattern and it will work very well. But The nature of the beast is that if you're using something like a gloss gel that is very kind of slippery and a little bit watery, it's wet. It's a wet medium. You're going to end up where some things are going to kind of soak underneath. Don't be mad about that. You don't need to redo it. That's why we're making card bases, because if that happens, you know exactly where you can put your embellishments over top of it. And those gorgeous backgrounds will still shine beautifully. Another thing is, because we are using gloss gel and dye inks, these colors will mix and they will blend and they will complement each other beautifully. So I started with the darker color and I'm just going to move on to the lighter. If you feel like your colors are a bit muddy, or if you want some really, really separation, like a really good separation of color, you can clean your palette knife off in between with, like I said, hot water, a baby wipe. These are nice. They're very easy to clean up. The gloss gel is very easy to clean up. And of course, the reinkers are just dye reinkers. I just put all of this in my sink when I was done, and I cleaned off my glass mat with the scraper tool that you can purchase with the mat, and done. You could also go over these with your catalyst if you wanted to, if you have a catalyst tool. I just found that because I was working with such a small area, the catalyst was a little too large. Maybe it's time for me to order a smaller one. This is rather a fast drying medium, so you do not need to wait hours and hours and hours. I left my finished product sit overnight, but that was mostly because I created these kind of later in the day, and I had some other things I needed to get done. It was just that simple. But I noticed that about maybe an hour, probably around an hour after I had set these to dry, they were dry and could have been worked on top of, but I waited till the next day. So here I am, I'm coming in with the lighter color. These will dry super shiny and glossy. That's kind of why we're using the gloss gel. It's gonna give us some dimension, not a ton of dimension, but a nice dimension. And then it's also going to be super glossy. And now for the big reveal. Take your time. You don't want to tear or smudge any of your stenciling. The Post-it tape is a huge help for that, because it won't stick to your paper. So there's our first one. Put that one off to the side to dry. This one might be my favorite. This one turned out so good. Love this one. And this is from the Cartabella's Family Night collection, which isn't wintry at all, but those little starbursts just screamed snow to me when done in blue. So we have that one. And last but not least, this Snow Flurry one, which also turned out amazing. So just take your time, be careful when you're taking these apart, and then have them dry completely before you use them as a card base. And here are the close-ups and photos of the cards I created when these were all dry. I used lots of the amazing Echo Park Winter Magic collection, the stickers, the cut-apart pieces. They made my cards come together really, really easy and super quick. I also grabbed some silver sequins for my stash, and these cards are going to be fabulous to give during winter. Talk to you all again soon. Bye.